This is my LITE 508 mini research project by Emily Alvey. So the question that I decided to explore was, how do expenditures for print materials, electronic materials, and audiovisual materials compare in public libraries during a single fiscal year? The question examines and compares numerical expenditure data for print, electronic, and audiovisual materials between 2023 and 2024. My hypothesis was that the expenditures for print materials, electronic materials, and the audiovisual materials would be different, with print materials receiving the largest portion of the materials budget. For my data collection method, I used data from the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives Public Library Statistics websites, or the KDLA. And then I took that information from 20 of the counties and I put it into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And then I use Microsoft Excel to calculate the mean of each different expense, the median of each different expense, and then also the total amount spent between all 20 counties for each different type of material expense. Then I was also able to use Microsoft Excel to make two different graphs. So I used a clustered bar chart and a stacked column chart in order to highlight the differences. So on both of these, the blue represents the print material expense, the orange represents the electronic material expense, and then the green represents the audio visual material expense. There were clear differences you can see in the graphs of where the money was spent and how much money was spent on each type of material. You can tell that there's a difference between each type of material. The print materials, which are the blue, were consistently represented as the largest expenditure, with a total of $1,014,324 spent between the 20 counties on print materials, with an average of $50,716 per library just on those printed materials. The electronic material costs seem to vary the most between each county. The blue ones tend to be a little bit steadier. The orange ones vary. Some of them are relatively low. Some of them are quite a bit higher. There are a couple counties that actually spent more on their electronic materials than the print, such as Allen County and then Hardin County are pretty close, but the orange is just a little bit more significant on that line with the Hardin County. So the electronic materials did vary a little bit more between the different counties. The audio visual, which are the green lines, those also stayed pretty consistent, and they were by far the smallest expense in each county. But if you just look at the graphs and you look at the data, it's pretty clear that you can see the print materials by far are the highest expense in almost every single county, with the exception of two. Now, I did not look at every county in Kentucky. This is just a sample of 20 of them. So if I had used every single county in Kentucky, those results may vary. But based on the 20 that I looked at, it does seem print materials are the most costly item for each library, or for most libraries, excuse me. All right, so in conclusion, the findings showed that the print materials received the largest share of collection expenditures, followed by the electronic materials, and then the audiovisual materials consistently received the smallest share of funding. These findings support my original hypothesis that public libraries continue to allocate the greatest portion of their materials budget to print collections.